This is a story of prisoner of the Forgotten Isle. Once on a secluded island far from the bustling world, there was a man known only as Prisoner 1427. His name had been stripped away, erased from the memories of those who once knew him. His only identity was the number branded on the rough stone wall of his solitary cell. The island was notorious for housing the most dangerous criminals, but the story of 1427 was different. He wasn't a killer nor a thief. He was a man whose only crime was having seen too much. Years ago, 1427 had been a historian obsessed with the mysteries of ancient civilizations. He had uncovered secrets, things that should not have been known. Among the forgotten ruins, he discovered something that made the world tremble, evidence of a past so old and so powerful that it threatened to undo everything people thought they knew about history. His discovery, however, was seen as a threat by those in power. The knowledge he held could have turned empires upside down. To silence him, they sent him to the Forgotten Isle where no one would ever find him and no one would ever hear his story again. The island was dark and foreboding, surrounded by harsh waves and dangerous reefs, a place so isolated that even the sea seemed to shun it. Prisoner 1427 spent his days in silence, his only companions, the squawks of distant seagulls, and the wind that howled through the cracks of his stone prison. Yet in the solitude, something strange began to happen. His mind, once consumed with historical facts and ancient relics, began to unravel the mysteries of his own existence. He would sit in the cold darkness, eyes closed, listening to the waves crash against the cliffs, and in his mind's eye, the ancient stories of long-lost kings, gods, and mythical creatures danced before him. He started to realize that perhaps the island itself was a prison for more than just people. Maybe the island was hiding something far more dangerous than him. What if it was a place meant to keep those who knew too much from the world? Years passed, and the silence became unbearable. The guards on the island would come, but only to drop off food, never speaking. No one ever visited, no one ever cared. 1427 had long since stopped fighting for freedom. He had started to wonder if the freedom he once sought had ever been real. Perhaps, like the prisoners before him, he had always been destined for this very fate. Maybe there was no escape, not from the island, but from the history itself that had ensnared him. Then, one night, under the pale light of a full moon, something unexpected happened. As 1427 sat at the edge of his cell, something shimmered in the distance, a faint golden light flickering like a flame. His heart raced. Could it be? He had heard legends of a hidden cave on the island, a place where the truth of the world was kept safe by ancient forces. He knew if he could reach it, he might uncover the final piece of the puzzle, the knowledge he had risked everything to uncover. With nothing but his bare hands, he began to climb the jagged cliffs, following the glowing light. The night was cold, but the heat of his own desperation kept him moving. The light led him through a darkened forest where shadows seemed to follow him, and finally to the mouth of a cave hidden behind thick vine. Inside, the walls shimmered with strange, glowing symbols, and in the center of the cave, a massive stone tablet stood. It was covered in the ancient script he had studied for so long, and as his fingers brushed the surface, he felt the ground tremble. The tablet's inscription was a prophecy, a warning of an ancient evil waiting to rise again, something that could unravel the world as it was. The truth he had uncovered long ago, the truth that had sent him to the island, was the key to stopping it. But there was a catch. The prophecy said that the one who uncovered the truth would never leave the island. They would be bound to it, a guardian of the knowledge, unable to share it with the outside world. 1427 understood then. He wasn't meant to escape, not in the way he had once hoped. His prison was no longer just a place of confinement. It was his purpose. He had been chosen to protect the world from what lay hidden beneath the surface of history. With the moonlight casting eerie shadows on the walls, 1427 sat down in the cave, clutching the tablet to his chest. He would stay there for as long as it took, guarding the secret that could save or destroy the world. And so the prisoner of the Forgotten Isle became its eternal keeper, a man who had known too much and who in the end was not a prisoner at all.